to increase engagement across my different platforms. And one of the ways that I'm trying to be unique and different with that is by how I'm communicating.
Welcome to the Howie and Beastmode podcast, where we discuss all things business, including growth, strategy, and execution, as well as personal and professional development. Let's join Howie and Beastmode in conversation.
You have to go first, and even in entry level, even in your phone call, go first and say your name first. So when you call somebody, if we're not going to learn anything else today about business, we need to learn that when you call a prospective client or even somebody that you already know, and they may even have your number saved in their phone. Whenever you call them, you need to say, "Hi, this is Jordan Allsup with JL. Can I talk to Brian?" You're going first. You're breaking the ice because everyone is naturally skeptical. Everyone is naturally defensive. And when you go first, okay, and the easiest, most entry level that I can think of is on the phone call like that, you go first. Every time it works. If somebody calls me and they ask me for my name first, I am always ready to hang up because I don't know who you are and why you're calling. You know?
Okay.
And then I'm less apt to listen to you after that.
Okay.
You know, I'd rather you leave a voicemail.
Interesting. You know? I'm in such a habit of doing that. I didn't realize that people, but you're right. I think when I get a telemarketer, a lot of times they just say like, "Can I talk to Brian Howard?" or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So instead you lead with your name and your organization. And that comes across as a more credible and also kind of more of a kind. Somehow that seems more kind as well, by the way.
Yeah. And again, it's different. You want to be different. You want to stand out. And one way to stand out is to go first in every aspect. You know? Do
you want me to tell my story?
Yes, please.
Okay. So
such a great story. I loved it.
Thanks, dude. All right. So here's the deal. So I'm a sales manager. I work for a cybersecurity company. And I told my team I wanted to run this experiment, but I wanted to do it myself because I need my team to kind of operate on what they know already versus trying risky stuff. And I like to do new business ventures. So what I did was I said, okay, if what if I went after accounting firms and I offered a new way for them to grow revenue, right? So if an accounting firm has 600 customers that are spending an average of $15,000 a year or $20,000 a year, what if there's a service that they could add and 30% of their customers took them up on that service, right? And let's say that 30% was, an extra $10,000 a year or $20,000 a year. I think these are very small numbers. These are likely to be quite a bit more, bigger numbers. But, think about that. I mean, I'll just do the math right now. Okay. Let's just say like 600 customers. Okay. Spending an average of $30,000 a year, let's just say. So that's 18 million, right? That's pretty good. So I'm going to write that down. $18 million.
Yep.
Write that down here. Now I'm going to take the same 600 customers and I'm going to say that you come up with new products and services, right? Maybe a couple new products and services. And those products and services cost an average of $10,000, right? So you say, what if, even 15% of those 600 customers, which is 90 customers, right, spent an extra, let's say $12,000 a year on this new service offering, right? That's an extra $1.08 million, right? And so what I thought is like, what if I could go bring that concept of, helping accounting firms sell additional types of products and services to their existing customers and help them expand their business and also help their customers in new ways that their customers were not being helped, or their customers might have been helped by someone else. So they could sort of like pull in that wallet, right? And I've talked to a friend of mine who runs a commercial landscaping company exactly like this. We actually created a matrix for him to kind of show this to him. And so the idea was that, people like Accenture or PwC or Ernst & Young, big household name accounting firms that started off with accounting and then eventually grew into other types of business advisory. So what I thought was, what if I go after small and mid-sized accounting firms and give them ideas and give them some programs that they can just snap on to their businesses as easy as possible to help them grow their revenue, right? And one or two of those ideas happen to be something that my current company where I work actually could help with, like a part of it, you know what I mean? So what I thought is I'm going to reach out to, I just found 5. I found like 1 in New Mexico and 4 in Texas, because it's part of my territory. So I'm just trying to serve my people here. And I found some contacts. I built a little database and I reached out to some individuals. And the first senior executive that I reached out to was a chief operating officer, right? So like number 2 in the company. And I left him a voicemail on Friday with this general idea of maybe using cybersecurity as an add-on service to your existing customers. Love to talk to you about some ideas I have around that, right? To help grow your revenue, right? Part of it'll come from me. Part of it'll just be you guys delivering services. The guy, I didn't even email him. He literally listened and apparently wrote down my email address from the voicemail. This never happens in sales. If our listeners are in sales, they know this. People do not return voicemails very often. And he emailed me, and he assigned one of his people to follow up with me. That person has already followed up, and we have a lunch on October 11th. And in fact, one more person will come. So what I think going for, I didn't have a title for it, like going first, but I mean, I like your title a lot. But this general idea of like, I'm going to go help them build their revenue. Hopefully part of that is something that I can help with. But I led with, let me help you build your revenue, because they all want to build their revenue, you know? So I think that's an idea as we think about how to grow our individual businesses or individual careers. What can you do to help somebody grow their revenue, reduce their costs, maybe, right? Other types of things that are about their business, and see if you can make your business or your career meeting one of those needs and providing the insights and the education and maybe some process as well to help them do that. And this is the first senior executive I reached out to, and I got like a 1-for-1 response. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Well, and not only did you go first with your customer, but you went first with your team. Like, that's what I was thinking about the whole time, is I know from a personal perspective, but you're trying to get more team buy-in to some of your ideas and some of you're new leader to the team. Mm-hmm. And so from that aspect, but you're also going first and saying, guys, let me show you that it works. Yeah. And then that cultivates buy-in, you know?
It does. Yeah.
And so
it's been hard being a new leader here, kind of like, because everybody's been there for quite a long time, and I'm new and I'm shaking everything up and I'm pushing them a little bit hard. I'm pushing them to work harder. I'm very encouraging, but I do push them to work harder and, do more outbound sales, blah, 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 And so it's like, and then I have these ideas and people, I get a certain amount of buy-in, but a certain amount of it's slower to have buy-in, and there's pockets of buy-in. And so, yeah, I think going first in this respect was, listen, I'm willing to put time and my own effort into programs that maybe will work. And if they do, then I will show you what I did. And then I did the hard work of having to go figure it out and just deliver them a program they can go repeat. So yeah, I mean, thanks for saying that. I didn't realize I was doing that, but.
Well, it's not even, and I really think this is important. It's not even the hard work of figuring it out. Yes, that's hard. But the hardest part is having the courage to go first. Not only am I going to go first as a leader, and I'm going to take time from things that I should be doing, and I'm going to do things that I think you should be doing, but I'm also going to go first with the customer. I'm also going to go first here, and I'm just going to go first, in every aspect. And it's just great leadership. I mean, they talk about that, even dating way back to when, whenever you used to, line up on both sides of the battlefield, the true leaders went out first. You didn't stand in the back, and wait. The guys who really got buy-in and following and shook things up and were different said, I'm going over here. You can follow me if you want to. Bullets are flying and I'm going this way. You go first.
Love that. Yeah. I'm looking for, I told my boss this, I told my wife this. I'm looking for asymmetrical warfare approaches. When the United States entered the Vietnam War or conflict or whatever it was, they really noticed, and they learned the hard way, that even bamboo can be a weapon. when buried in the ground and dipped in poison and covered up by leaves, bamboo is a heck of a weapon, right? Asymmetrical warfare, not necessarily spending the biggest budgets, not necessarily having the biggest humans, the largest, most muscular people. These guys were sometimes starving, I'm sure, and yet they were, fairly successful with the United States because they use asymmetrical warfare. So, that's what
there's a mentality with that too. Oftentimes, if you look the biggest, you look the strongest, you have the best resources, you walk in with pride. Whereas if you don't, you're walking in more humble, you're walking in with a different approach, a different mindset. Again, it's all totally different. I'm not going to fight your battle your way. I'm going to come in and do things differently. And as sales and in any type of business, you want to present it in that same capacity. And going first is just one of those ways. And I think, did I share my frustration since we've been recording with social media and how
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Think so.
I hope not. But I'm just so frustrated with social media because there's so many wonderful ideas, wonderful businessmen and women who are just sharing such great entry, I'm interested, but then now I got to jump through 85 hoops just to get to decide if I'm actually interested or not. And it's like, okay, just tell me what your product is. How much does it cost? That's probably my biggest one. Tell me all the benefits about your product and how great it is, but there's no price. And the only way I can get a price is if I click this link and I fill out this information and do all this. And it's like, just tell me the price up front. What are you so scared of that you got to hide behind capturing all my pertinent information for me to just decide later that I'm not interested?
Yeah.
It's kind to tell me up front that it's overly priced, and it's kind for me to decide that I'm not interested right then. You would honestly probably get me to even inquire if you told me up front. Like, man, this sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. Why is it so expensive? Like, I would almost reach out. But if I have to jump through all these hoops to then find out, oh my gosh, that's why, because it's so overpriced.
Well, it doesn't help
now
either. Because
now I'm mad. Now I wish I could get all my information back, and your product stinks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really insane. It is really crazy what they put all of us through, and that's a new trend in marketing, although I think it's kind of cutting edge. But the new trend is that you have ungated content and you don't gate it, and you just give it away, and you just understand that when you make sure people know how to contact you on the website if they want a demo or they want to have a conversation with sales, but you provide the bulk of your information without filling out the form. And that's called ungated content. And it is going to be the future, but there's a ton of old school still happening. A ton.
It hurts.
That's what Chris Walker talks a lot about on Refine Labs with his State of Demand Gen podcast, and some of his buddies as well that he I think Gaetano, I don't remember what his last name is, but that's one of his buddies as well. There's a bunch of them that all believe this now, but they're kind of cutting edge. A lot of what you still see is that junk that you had to deal with.
It hurts me. It really does. It bothers me to the core. Like, I almost want to comment and say, like, why are you making it so difficult?
Yeah.
But I know that's not helpful. I mean, I would get a negative response.
I think this is a David and Goliath strategy, right? When you start talking about how do you, fulfill, how do you operate in an asymmetrical warfare? Okay, asymmetrical, A means not symmetrical, right? Symmetrical, I don't know the exact definition of it, but asymmetrical basically means not normal, not usual, not typical, not as expected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In general. And so it's like, if you're going to build your business, you have to be able to stand out. And also, we've talked a lot about this, and I talked to my team about this last week, actually, about the tribe concept that we've talked about before, which is like, we are biologically wired to outsource our risk assessment of the world and also to identify rewards and positive things and resources by taking in the feedback and the opinions of others. We see that a lot in social media where, you see somebody make a recommendation for like, hey, who has a really good AC person, right? I mean, my wife and I did that a few years ago. We absolutely engaged the person that was given to us, but we outsource our risk and our risk identification to the crowd, to the tribe, basically, and also our resource needs, resource identification to the crowd as well. And so if you want to be successful in your business, then provide that which the tribe needs, and the tribe will reward you with things like attention, loyalty, sales, those things, because you're tapping into what they biologically, they trust you and they see you as, okay, this person fits this category. They're helping us identify risk. They're giving it away. Just like you said, they're going first, or they're helping us to identify precious resources for our families or for our company or for whatever it is. And so they see you as fulfilling that. You're tapping into their tribal, they're making note of you that you are a tribe member. You have become part of their tribe by giving them this advice and by going first.
Yeah. Yes. Which I think is so important. It's untapped in the capacity of which we're talking about. Everybody's doing it the other way. The frustrating jump through hoops, I'm kind of deceptive. I'm giving you, I'm throwing a little bait in the water, but I'm not, just put it out there. And I think that it's that rejection mindset of, okay, well, maybe, especially on social media. Okay. So I had, 2,000 people view it and click and whatever, but I only had one call. And it's like, but I was forthright. Well, the one person who called was probably ready to go, as opposed to having 2,000 people call, and now I got to sift through and sort through 2,000 people to get to the one person who's actually interested. I'm on the opposite spectrum. I only want to talk to the one person who's actually interested. Well,
you're marketing 2.0 then, because that's what's being talked about. That's exactly what's being talked about, is that this mentality is the leads actually decrease a lot, but they have a higher close rate. That's exactly what Chris Walker and some of these guys, Gaetano and some of these, I can't remember all the other names that he's had on there, but that's how they talk as well. Is like, you have to accept the fact that the metrics on the wall may actually be lower. So you'll have 2,000 impressions, but you didn't capture any of their contact information, but you leave like a contact us area so that they can, if they want to. And then that one person who is ready contacts you, like you said.
Okay. So I'm right on board, and I'm probably going to go way too excited on this. I don't want 2,000 contacts that are never going to buy my product. I don't want to waste time emailing them. I don't want to waste time calling them. I don't want to waste time trying to engage, spending advertising dollars, trying to engage somebody who's never going to buy my product or service. It's a waste of time all the way around. And I can't stand it. I can't stand when businesses do it. When I can zero in on who is actually my customer, who is in my tribe. And then that person will not only invest whatever I'm asking, will probably upgrade, will probably, because they are bought in. And it's just, come on. And then you spend your time, you spend your energy serving the person in my tribe, not trying to fit. And again, not trying to discount this person to get them in my tribe. So now they're going to be upset. I'm trying to keep them in with other discounts and this, that, and the other. When they should have they belong to your they belong to your competition. Is who they belong to. And they have the idea. They have that's going to service them. I don't want the headache. I don't want to deal with that. And I don't want to discount my service to make you fit.
Like sometimes we're a little too agreeable in the way we deliver, and because we don't want to kind of burn a bridge or make someone feel stupid or whatever,